want to start things off by letting you know that the top of the range Renault Duster model, the 2016, costs 290,000 Rand. Please keep that in mind as we go along. Now the Renault Duster is not new, I hear you say. But it's been facelifted for 2016. So you've got a new grille here. No longer is it 3 chrome slats, it's only 2 chrome slats with the emblem in the center. The headlights have a black surrounding and the bumpers received a little bit of an update as well. There's updated alloys down the side with body-coloured door handles. The roof rails now have the Duster logo on it and they're finished off in satin. At the back on the tailgate, the chrome Duster panel is gone. In its place, a flat, black, hard-wearing, rugged-looking panel. All of these changes lend itself to making the Duster seem a little more contemporary, a little more rugged, and overall a little more purposeful, especially when you have it in what they call olive grey. Very military. Now the Renault Duster 1.5 DCI Dynamique 4x4 is powered by, well, a 1.5 litre turbo diesel motor. It makes 80 kilowatts, 240 Newton meters of torque. Doesn't sound like too much, but I'll tell you what, it's got fantastic low down torque. It's mated to a 6-speed manual gearbox. And it's quite a gearbox. I'll tell you what, it's actually a very, very nice 6-speed gearbox. First gear is nice and short and there's enough torque from the motor so that you can pull away in second gear quite comfortably. In terms of drive system, it's not a permanent all-wheel drive, 4-wheel drive. You have the option of selecting 2-wheel drive, an auto, which will decide which is best for the situation based on slip, and then of course you can lock it into 4-wheel drive so that you can go and tackle some of the rough stuff without too much of a worry. Whoa, here we go, there's the rough stuff. Now it's got more than enough ground clearance, and surprisingly enough, the suspension soaks up the undulations beautifully. They say that you're going to return about 5.2 litres per 100 on the combined cycle. We're seeing figures realistically of just under 8 here. That is a little bit of mixed highway, a little bit of stop-start, a little bit of our off-road excursions here. But overall, pretty good. Sadly, the interior of the Duster is a little bit of a letdown. That's where it really shows its price. It does seem to be very plasticky, almost comes across, and I'm going to say it's cheap. But it seems to be hard wearing actually. We've got a couple of thousand Ks on this model, and well, it's not really showing much sign of wear and tear. Now this one is spec'd with the optional leather seats, but you don't really have to go for that option, because if you go with the cloth seats, you're going to get this beautifully patterned insert, which is also new for 2016. It is a bit of an old school traditional French interior. I had an old 80s Peugeot, that was French, and it had the hooter on the end of an indicator stalk, and guess what? There's nothing here in the center of the steering wheel. It's here on the side of the indicator stalk. So that, the orange illumination, just does feel quite French. And then there's also the placement of some of the switches. Your mirror switches are down here by the handbrake for adjusting the electric mirrors. The traction control is down here at the bottom, and the cruise control is on the dashboard. The steering controls only deal with the cruise control, whereas there's a little pod behind the steering wheel, very typical Renault, that controls the audio. So you do need to familiarize yourself with the interior before you can just go in guns blazing. That said, space is generous and the rear seats fold down to give you an absolutely cavernous loading area. It's really nice. We've got electric windows back and front, and as long as you get past some of the plastic aspects of things, you can really live with the interior of the Renault Duster. So the Renault Duster 4x4 may not have all the creature comforts and tech that one would expect, but you've got to keep that price in mind, 290,000 Rand. That makes this pretty much the cheapest 4x4 that you can get brand new. I hear you say that you'd be able to get a whole lot more car second hand, but then you're going to be losing out on Renault's fantastic 5-year, 150,000 kilometer warranty. And that just tips the scales in this fantastic little car's favor.